Welcome back, everybody. This is D. This is D's Daily. DD. How you doing? It's your boy. Welcome back, guys, for another video. I'm gonna start by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is never financial advice. Don't take it as that. Take it for educational and entertainment purposes only. All right, guys. Today, I want to get into my thesis about Lucid and what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking, how I'm analyzing this data. But remember, you always have to do your own DD, do your own research, and make your own decisions when it comes to the markets and investing. Okay, I'm just here to give you the tools and some education and some facts, and you have to make your own decision. Okay, but I'm pretty excited. I am liking what I'm seeing. We saw some strength in Lucid today. It topped out at around 1302, and then right now it's at 1210. And the volume is pretty good at 66 million. Okay, so not as high as the other days when it was like 200 million, 100 million. It's kind of cooled off, but it's still holding the levels that I want to see. And I'm going to break down, in my opinion, why this is a win-win, and I'm willing to hold my shares for hopefully, a nice chunk of change. All right. And what's the goal, right? The goal to be in the market, right, is to make some money, get some financial freedom, hopefully, help you pay off that car note, something, to help you out. But you have to take time, you have to learn, you have to research, and do your research. That's a big major point. It's a big part of investing is the research, and that's why like a lot of people don't like to read and whatnot. But I know people have 9 to 5s. That's why I'm here to try to give you some information, some data, and then you can decide what to do with it. Okay, but as always, I appreciate the subscribers, guys. Appreciate the follows, the comments, the family. We've been here for a little over a year now, and I have grown the family. We have grown the family together, and I love it how we stick together and we talk and so on. So it's a cool experience, guys. Definitely enjoyed doing this. So yeah, some of the things I was talking about is Jerome Powell was going to raise rates, and that's why you saw the market go up, rally a little bit. There was some good plays yesterday and today with volatility, because the Fed raised the interest rate by 0.25 basis points. So didn't go over, didn't do 0.5, 0.75, nothing crazy, right? And the market, as as you can see through the charts, like I saw a lot of stocks that were up 20, 30, 40, 50% from yesterday and today. So now I'm kind of just worried about tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be a cool off day, might be a sideways day. Kind of depends on earnings, because I believe Amazon has earnings today, and tomorrow another major company. But today, okay, we're gonna talk about Lucid. So let's jump into my thesis and what I've been looking at. All right, guys, I brought the receipts, got the information to show you the proof. I don't like to just put things out there. I like to actually look at the data and then make, form my opinion on it. So let's jump to, okay, we're gonna jump first into this piece right here, right? So screenshot. Right here. Some kind of commercial just played. I don't know if you guys heard that. All right, Lucid, guys. Let's start with this. We're gonna, go over some information here. It's pretty crucial information. It's a lot of numbers. Hopefully you don't get lost. You can always rewind, pause, whatever you need to do. But yeah, first off, why am I investing in Lucid? All right, so it's always helpful to write things down and look at it in my perspective, in my opinion. So that's what I did. Okay. And I'm looking at this like a win-win, guys, right now. I really like what I'm seeing, right? But you have to do what you got to do. But here's the facts, right? Every Apple needs a Samsung. There is Tesla, and now there is Lucid. All right. That's the way I look at it, right? You have Apple, Samsung, you need competition. So I really like their product, right? Lucid, I think it has potential. I think it can definitely compete with Tesla. Now, the only thing is the production side is very different compared. I'm not comparing that. I'm just saying, right, in the big picture where this could go, you could see Apple, you can see Tesla and Lucid, be competitors. So back at the lows, as far as the stock price, the low 52-week low was 609, and the 52-week high was 30.85 for the past 52 weeks. But the 3-year high is around $55, right? The P.I.F owns right now around 60% of the shares. Some websites say 64, 65%, and that's about 1.68 billion shares that are outstanding. That's how many shares are outstanding, but they own a little over 1 billion shares that are pretty much locked up, and they are buying and holding, right? They are not looking to sell these. They're actually, the rumor, it's allegedly, right? It's not confirmed or denied, but allegedly the rumor says they want to buy out the rest of the shares that are out there to take the company private. Okay. So there's that. piece of information. You know, they're truly just buying and holding. You have about 36% of the free float left, which is what's supposed to be out there for retail, for institutions, right? Like Vanguard, like BlackRock, whoever, you know, the big money institutions that want to invest in it, they have shares in it. So right now you currently have around 25% to 30% short interest. That's around 160 million that I've seen, depending where you look for the information, that are shares that are short, right? So they're borrowed. So this is why I could see a potential short squeeze, right? But certain things would have to happen in order for that to happen. But this is what I'm looking at. So if P.I.F increases ownership to around 75 to 85%, I think a major short squeeze can happen, right? In my opinion, guys, just looking at the data, okay? Because if P.I.F wants to buy out, they have to propose a tender offer. And let's just go back and forth here. I have the receipts, so tender offer, okay? Let's check out what that is. It's sorry right here. Okay. A tender offer occurs when an investor proposes buying shares from every shareholder of a publicly traded company for a certain price at a certain time. The investor normally offers a higher price per share than the company's stock price, providing shareholders a greater incentive to sell their shares. Most tender offers are made at a specified price that represents a significant premium over the current share price. Okay, so that usually there's a premium involved. A tender offer might, for instance, be made of the purchase outstanding stock shares for $18 of a share when the current market price is only 15 a share. The reason for the offering, the premium, is to induce a large number of shareholders to sell their shares. In the case of a takeover attempt, the tender offer may be conditional of the prospective buyer being able to attain a certain amount of shares, such as a sufficient number of shares to constitute controlling interest in the company. So that's what P.I.F would, you know, be looking to do. If they want to buy the shares, they have to make a tender offer, which usually involves a premium. Okay, so that's what that is. Keep that in mind. Next, so this, to me, this is why the shorts, you know, they're at high risk right now. If P.I.F buys shares that are left with a gap, what do I mean? There's, you know, how do you cover, if the short interest is around 30%, how do you cover 30% if there's only 20% or less shares, depending on how much they would buy, right? So they wouldn't even have to buy all of them, the P.I.F. Like, I would actually prefer, right, if they would just come in and raise their shares, and they would buy more, raise it to around 85%, leaving 15% left, right? But how do you cover, there's only supposed to be 100%, right? So how do you cover 30% when, say, there's only 15%, for example, of the shares left? Okay, that to me would be the cause of the squeeze. And then, you know, the shares could go up and the P.I.F could wait until, you know, sell a small stake. And that's, you know, kind of referencing to the short squeeze that happened with Volkswagen, okay? Because Porsche waited until it hit $1,200 and they sold 6% of their shares, made a boatload of money, and then allowed the shorts to cover, all right? So that's just kind of like what I'm thinking can happen here. Because right now, the Lucid market cap is 20 billion, right, or right around there. And I think, you know, P.I.F could possibly, right, I don't know, this is just, I'm just throwing this out there. They could come in and offer 40 billion or 60 billion to buy out the shares, or the whole, to be, you know, that would basically be the whole market cap, right, of 60 billion. And I have some backing to this. I'm not just making this number up, right? So I'm going to show that to you guys. But if this was to happen, a vote would take Lucid private, shorts would have to cover. All right, what do I mean by that? Like, shorts would have to cover. Yes, they would have to cover. And I have the proof right here. So let's look at this. What happens to shorts if a company goes private? What would happen if a company that has been shorted decided to go back private or buy back stocks? If a public company buys 100% of the shares back from the public in a going private or LBO transaction, the shorted shares must be purchased back from the marketplace in order to deliver 100% of the equity. So that, according to that, shorts would have to cover. Now, side notes. All right. So in 2018, P.I.F offered 60 billion to Tesla, and that equaled out about $420 per share. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it would only, if the stock price stayed at what it's at right now, around 12, 13 bucks, it would only cost them another 20 billion, and the share price would be double, right? So that's not what I'm looking for, but that's if, you know, they wanted to buy out the rest of the shares with a small premium, then that's just an example, okay? But back then, you know, They offered 60 billion, which equal to about 420 a share. Got the receipt right here. I'm going to show it to y'all so y'all can see it. And right now, Elon is actually fighting he got sued because of a tweet and whatnot. And this happened back in 2018, but court documents show that Tesla's billionaire Elon Musk had met with the governor of the Saudi sovereign wealth fund, known as the P.I.F, and the prince of several occasions, and they had urged Musk to turn Tesla into a private company. According to the documents related to a case filed by Tesla shareholders regarding Elon Musk tweets in 2018, in which he said he had obtained financing to turn the electric car maker into a private company, right? Because they offered Musk support of up to 60 billion for this endeavor, according to Reuters. Investors filed a lawsuit in 2018, shortly after Musk tweeted that he was considering taking Tesla private at $4.20 per share. Funding secured, he tweeted. That's why he got in trouble, because it actually wasn't secured yet, right? So in another tweet, allegedly, I don't know for sure, I'm just reading, what's going on here. In another tweet on the same day, he wrote, investor support is confirmed, adding only reason why this is not certain that a contingent on a shareholder vote. That is contingent on a shareholder vote, because, right, the shareholders would have to vote and agree on the price that they would be bought out at. Okay, so that's why I'm not making this out of just thin air, right? I'm giving you an example of like a ballpark range and just my opinion on what could happen too. So yeah, that's why I see it as a win-win, but as well, like they could also just, maybe if the share price is 12, they could come in and offer maybe 15. Okay, so it could go either way. So I'm giving you both scenarios. But if they're willing to pay, because usually it's like future projections too, right? The premium. So I mean, if it was a 60 billion market cap, then I would expect around the $40 to $50 share price, right? But who's to say they could come in and just say, in order to want everybody to sell 100, 200, who knows, right? That could happen as well. All right. So there's that. That's my thesis, my information. We're just gonna look at some things on the internet here real quick. So the SPY, still pushing. We had an idea this was going to happen because of our levels, because of the technical analysis, because of the signals, right? But right now, the reason I think tomorrow could be sideways is because, these are some pretty big moves already. Could continue if the earnings are good, but I expect to more see sideways trading until we'll see what happens next week. But, that push definitely has moved the whole market, right? And that's how the market reacted yesterday when Jerome Powell announced, and it was able to break this was resistance, so now it's trying to catch it as support. So I want to point that out. RSI is high, so that's why I'm saying it could start to cool off. But volume depends on the hype and all that right now. Okay, but just wanted to start off that with the SPY, just to prove again, has high short interest according to Fintel. Lucid is around 25.49%, and there was more shorts that doubled down, that borrowed more shares, because this was like at 1 million, over 1 million shares. It's back down to 70,000, and the cost to borrow is around 25 to 31%. So not super high, still just a little elevated. But that's that short interest data. Now this morning I was so excited because you saw the share price go above $13. So these were in the money for a bit. But there's 20,000 calls right now that expire tomorrow, so we'll see if we can continue that momentum. But I would want that, because that just puts more pressure on the market makers, the shorts, right, to see another rally because of a gamma squeeze potential here with 12,000, 20,000. So that's 32, almost 40,000 contracts in the next within the next dollar range, or $1.50. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for tomorrow. That's what I want to see, if it can close above $13 tomorrow. Again, this is just talking about how Tesla may go private. This is from 2018, August 7, 2018. And I just want to point out that, back then the P.I.F had a significant stake in Tesla, which was to the tune of 3 and 5%. Okay, and remember, right now they're at the tune of 60 to 64% on Lucid. So at the time, the prince, or the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, oversees the state sovereign's wealth fund. The numbers from the report indicated the P.I.F, which has more than 250 billion in assets, has a stake of between 1.7 billion and 2.9 billion in Tesla's current share. So wow, see, so back then it looks like the price was around 364, and they were willing to pay 420 for the shares. Okay, so I wanted to point that out. and that was okay. So they were worth 250 billion in assets back then, and currently this is the prince that oversees the wealth fund, from what I've researched. And honestly, this is not somebody you want to mess with. I wouldn't want to mess with them. This is some big money. So the shorts are playing with fire because how much is the P.I.F worth? They're worth $620 billion in assets. So what is to stop them from, like I said, coming in and offering 40 billion, 60 billion if they really just want to take that, take Lucid private now, right? So that's the tender offer. Oh, what's interesting to me, right? We're looking at the FTDs on Lucid, and coming up for the next week, these guys have a lot of failures to deliver, right? And the T plus 35 days supposed to be here, which supposedly they're supposed to be delivered by all the shares, right? So that's why I'm really just excited. I can see, I see the strength that it held. And before I show you the chart, I'm gonna wrap up the video here, but just to show you, so back here, March 2017, Porsche increases its stake 30%. The rumors started in October, I believe, or no, like July probably. Yeah, it's down here. So in May actually. So June. Oh, it's actually the next year, May. So it could take some while. I'm not saying the Lucid squeeze is gonna happen tomorrow or this coming week, right? It could take some time because they could just be acquiring the shares. There's a lot of things that could happen, but I'm just pointing out what could happen. So then on Porsche, when they announced that they own 74% of the shares, that's when you saw the actual short squeeze, and Porsche sold 6% of its stake up here, which allowed the shorts to cover. But they definitely, took advantage of the shorts and charged them a high premium for attacking the company, right? So that's what I'm hoping, right? That would be a great scenario for me personally. That's what I would want to see, a short squeeze, okay? But now, right now, this is what I was saying. Like from my past videos, if you watch them, the 2 past videos on Lucid, I said I wanted to see some sideways action, and it bounced off the CMA, right? So we're looking at hopefully coming back to test, this range, the 1691 resistance here. But I drew this line that we have this support here, and it goes back over here when you saw it bounce, and then it lost. It came down, ripped past it, and now it's using it as support. And I'm on the daily chart, and the RSI is pretty high right now. Okay, so this is risky right now, especially for options and whatnot, because this thing could start coming back down. Okay, and it could come back down to around 9 if it becomes bearish, if we see some bearish action next week. But all right, guys, that's all I really got. Can't think of anything else. Hopefully this helped you, educate you, give you some information and whatnot. So I do the research, I bring the receipts, and hopefully you enjoy. All right, give me a like, give me a comment, leave me a comment, share the video if you believe in Lucid and whatnot. So thanks for coming by, guys. I will catch you tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, I should be able to make a video tomorrow, but if not, I'll catch you next time. All right, peace.